Hello everyone, welcome back to Amy's Bookshelf. Today we are going to do or start a vlog. So I have a lot of arcs that I have not got to, and I am structuring my reading throughout the month in a very particular way now, where I start off the first couple to 3 weeks trying to get it into the only first 2 weeks, which are the books that I have prompts for. So anything readathon related, anything TBR Clue related goes into the first 2 weeks where I can finish off all of those books then. Then I have the last 2 weeks to really do arcs and anything outstanding for readathons. That way I can finish off things mentally. I have it like checklisted in my TBR Clue. Don't need to worry about anything else as extra pile, but priorities are arcs. And this month I realized I have not done any arcs yet, which I normally am better about doing them in the first half of the month as well. So I figured let's do a week-long vlog and see how many I can get done in 1 week, especially if I'm talking about them, then this will be also a dedicated review video. So it might be a little bit longer than most reading vlogs because I am going to be reviewing arcs. I feel like that's more important to give a dedicated, thought out review process of what books I am reading. Now, I have a specific list that I am going off of, obviously, but I have a very wide range of arcs that I can go off of in general because I have quite a few. I have actually several physical ones as well as obviously ebooks. These are some of the physical ones I have. I have some more. I have purchased these since getting the arcs, or maybe even before getting the arcs, but I have never received these from the publisher. I paid for them with my own money. So these ones are not first priorities except for a couple of them, which I'll talk about in a bit. But first of all, I'm going to be prioritizing upcoming arcs because I feel like that's a bit better for me to think about. So first of all, I have finished an arc today, which I will talk about first, which is Cults by Max Cutler. This one I only read as an ebook and it comes out on July 11th, I want to check. So it comes out on July 12th, so I was pretty close. But this one is about many different cults and it just follows exactly what it is. It follows the people who run them or who ran them and the people who were intrigued to join them and what is kind of the philosophy or the psychology behind it. This book was written by someone who is a podcaster. I've never listened to Max Cutler myself, but I found this subject to be very interesting. The book was quite detailed and I found that to be a little bit tiresome at certain points with how long the chapters were, because in an ebook form, I just said like 45-minute chapters. So it was kind of long, but I did really enjoy how in-depth it went and how it talked about certain leaders from the time that they were born and their parents and the home life that they had all the way up until the end of the cult or until their death, or if they were still alive in prison, whatever the case may have been. So I found that to be very interesting. I don't remember exactly how many cults it covered, but it is a 400-page book and I felt like it was very well researched and very well thought through. It was very well presented as well. I'd give it a 4-star, and I think if you're at all interested in true crime and how these kind of things can be created and the different people who have led very notorious cults, this is one to check out. There are very different cults from around, not around the world, I'd say. They were mostly North America, but I would definitely recommend this kind of perspective because they were cults based on quote unquote different things, but really based on sex and greed and how that was portrayed to different people. And I thought that was an interesting look at a true crime thing, which I'm personally very interested in. So I would recommend checking this one out. It comes out on July 12th. So my next one is Fake It Till You Bake It by Wesley. This one came out, I didn't realize it comes out today, which is June 20th. I thought it came out next week. So I would have time to put out my video on the day it comes out, which I don't. But I will be trying to finish it off today. I had started it before. This is a fake dating romance where the guy, if I remember correctly, is big football athlete, or he's a pro athlete who owns a bakery, and the bakery isn't doing so well. Started off really big because of his, fame and glory, and now it's not doing so great. And then there is this woman, and she is a competitive of some sort, and they're entering into a competition, and somehow they have to do a fake dating trope. I don't know what else, but I am excited to get into it and start that up. I'm going to be trying to read that tonight and tomorrow as well. I'm going to make that my top priority book. I also have another romance, which is about Shakespeare. So this one's called For the Love of the Bard, and it comes out next week, which will be June 27th, when hopefully this one's already out. But this one, or actually June 28th. However it is, you should be seeing this video before this book is released. This one is kind of a play. I'm sorry about that. It's kind of a play, I think, on Twelfth Night. Let me just quickly check over the synopsis. So it says, to go for it or not to go for it? That is the question when two former high school flames return to their Shakespeare-obsessed hometown for a summer of theater and unexpected romance. In a laugh-out-loud rom-com from debut author Jessica Martin, literary agent and writer Miranda Barnes rolls into her hometown of Bard's Rest with one goal in mind: to spend the summer finally finishing her YA novel, the next installment in her best-selling fantasy series. Yet Miranda's mother, deep in the planning stages of the centennials of the town's best loved or beloved annual Shakespeare's Festival, has other ideas. Before you can say all's fair in love and war, Miranda's cornered into directing Twelfth Night while simultaneously scrambling to finish her book, navigating a family health scare, and doing her best to avoid the guy who broke her heart on prom night. When it comes to Adam, the veterinarian with a talent for set design and an infuriating knack for winning over Miranda's dog, the lady doth protest too much. As any Shakespeare lovers know, the course of true love never did run smooth, and soon Miranda realizes she'll have to decide whether to trust Adam with her heart again. So I thought it sounded sweet. So I will be reading that one and hopefully loving it. I will be having my review out very soon. So those are my two top priorities. I'm excited to have them. I have a couple other books I need to read before the end of the month, but I have plenty of time. Today is the 20th, and I am just more in the mood to read my arcs than my other priority books, so I'm going to go for it right now. So welcome to my next two priority books, and I hope that you'll jump on this arc reading with me and see what arcs I pick up along the way. There are quite a variety, I guarantee you. So we'll have some mysteries, we'll have some other nonfiction, I hope, and who knows? So it is 10 o'clock now. I am going to go to bed, but I have read up until 60% of Fake It Till You Bake It. I am really enjoying it. It's about Donovan, who is a football player. So I was right about the football sport. I thought I might be. So he owns a bakery and he is losing in sales. He owns it with two football players as well. So it's not just him. And then he meets Jada, who is, I forgot this part, but she basically was on The Bachelorette in this world. So not quite that name, obviously, but she was on The Bachelorette kind of style, and she turned down the proposal. So she's like getting a lot of hate online from it. And what's going on is that she needs a job, and just so happens that her grandmother owns the company or owns the team that Donovan plays for. So she happens to set it up so that way Jada works for Donovan's bakery. But the thing is that when Jada said, I don't want to get married on live TV, she said that it was because of another guy. And soon it comes out that it might be Donovan when it's really not. They've never met before. Aside from the very first chapter where she says that his cupcakes must be awful because they look so boring. That's kind of what sets us off, and then it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really interesting. It has a lot of depth, and I am liking the characters a lot. I'm liking the romance, And at 60% of the way through, I really like how they're developed individually and in their settings, and how it's really taking time to develop their relationship and their friendship. Also, while having that tension there because they are attracted to each other, but also having this fake dating hanging over them. Really enjoying it, and I can't wait to finish it off. But I'm going to finish it off tomorrow because it is 10 o'clock at night. So I feel pretty good about that. And I think I'm about page 200 in that because the book is 335 pages or so. And so I feel pretty good. I finished a 400-page nonfiction, and I am 200 pages into a romance for my arcs today. And that I'm going to call a win. So that's Monday night settled, Monday. And I'm going to jump into Tuesday the 21st and hopefully finish off Fake It Till You Bake It. And I also hope for The Love of the Bard, because I think that'll be awesome just to finish off the first two right away. Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 21st. I am getting ready for work, but I wanted just to check in and say that last night, after saying I'm not reading anymore, I didn't read any more of Fake It Till You Bake It, but I started reading on my phone because I wasn't able to fall asleep right away, but I started reading English Myths, and I can't remember who it's by, but I'll put the picture up here of the arc that I'm reading. This one is all about English myths and what we have about them. There's like 225 pages, this arc, and I think it's more like a coffee book style because I can only read it on the NetGalley app, and it is really interesting. I'm 71 pages in. It's pretty good, and I like how it has a lot of pictures. I think it's a coffee book style book. Like, I think it's pretty big, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. 71 pages in. I'm right now reading the section about Beowulf. So it goes all the way up to like King Arthur and how all these myths were created in Britain. And I think that's really interesting because I know a lot about Greek myths, Roman myths, like that kind of worldly myths, but not British. And I think that that's something I'm enjoying about this book. So started reading that, well, not started, continued reading that last night. That one comes out in August. So it's not a massive rush on that one, but I'm just kind of picking it up when I have a few minutes here and there. And I was mistaken, and Fake It Till You Bake It comes out today on the 21st. So I'm going to push to finish that one today, so I have a review out at least on its publication day. So that will be my top priority for today. Aside from that, like I said, For the Love of the Bard, if I have time, and then we'll see where the wind takes me with my arc reading. But yeah, pretty good so far. So I am on my lunch break right now. I have finished Fake It Till You Bake It. I really enjoyed this one. I am giving it, I think, a 4-star. I just flew through it. I really liked how Jada and Donovan were as individuals and then together as they did a fake dating trope. I liked how the trope was executed. I actually am really interested to continue on in this series, and I believe this arc, the publisher reached out to me to see if I would like a copy. So I am very happy about this arc. I didn't seek it out myself, and I'm very happy with it. I really enjoyed it. There was a steamy chapter, or maybe not a complete chapter, but a steamy section. So I skipped over because that's just not my thing, but I definitely enjoyed it. And it wasn't a whole thing of the book, because that's something else I don't like, where it's like the whole book, but it was only really one section and it was not that big. So I was able to skip it pretty quick, and it was not a bad deal at all. So yeah, definite 4-star. I have to write my review, and as I'm reading it and finishing it, it is the book's publication birthday. So I'm very happy to get a review out on the day of, and I will be happy to encourage others to read this one as well. And I'll keep my eyes peeled for a sequel, because the epilogue definitely led to a potential sequel, which I would like to read based on this one, because there's a character, there are these 3 guys who own the bake shop, one of them being August and another one being Nicholas, who are not obviously Donovan. And August apparently goes viral, and I'm excited to see what is going on with August. So I'm intrigued, and I'm excited to pick up another book by this author and see what else happens. So a good book, very excited to read more from this author and very happy to recommend Fake It Till You Bake It. So I just got home from work and I checked the mail and I got a package, which I didn't expect to do an unboxing or anything on this. But I got a package from Janet Van Murick. I will link her channel down below. And I got a package from the Biblical Fiction Buffs book club meeting, which was end of May, from guessing or getting a trivia right. So I will open it with you. I figured I'd do that since I'm vlogging this week anyways. So in here we have some goodies, like a little card, which I will open first. There's some good stuff in here too. Thank you for the card, Jenna. There are some stickers and some little note things. Great. Jenna has a podcast, so I think that's what this symbol is from. I don't do a lot of podcast listening because I listen to a lot of audiobooks, but she did make some bullet journals, or not bullet journals, but journaling stuff. So this is the reading journal for note-taking, list-making, and this is in a mint. I really liked this one. I won a trivia guess, so I got to pick one. I think this is the one I picked. I picked this one, which she sent me an extra, so that's very sweet of her. So this is the other one. So she sent me two. Thank you so much, Jenna. So I got two little reading journals today. Very kind. And I am very excited to have these. I love making lists and I use my bullet journal all the time for only reading. So this will be very handy. I will probably turn one of these into an ARCs only one since I do have ARCs and I should probably do some dedicated sections to them. So this will be helpful. But anyways, on to the plans for tonight. I have the plans to read For the Love of the Bard. I am very excited about that one. And then otherwise, I do really want to finish up English Myths soon. I'm really intrigued by that one. And I have another July arc that's coming up. I can't remember which one that is right now. I think it's Deadly Shallows, which is a Christian suspense one by Danny Petrie. I have read the other two books in the series. That's the third one I have as an arc, but the second one kind of let me down a little. But I still have this third one, so I'm going to read it before the date comes out. So I might prioritize that one as well. So we'll see what it goes with, or what I go with. But I will be trying to prioritize For the Love of the Bard tonight. This is my normal Bible study night on Tuesdays, but because I don't have Bible study as it's now summer, it feels very strange to be home and not with my Bible study ladies. So I guess I will be doing some reading instead. So we'll do some Shakespeare reading and maybe then we'll see what happens. Nonfiction or some Christian suspense. But either way, I will keep you updated. I will also link these down below, or Jenna's shop down below, if you would like to check them out. She has 3 other ones, I believe, that come in different colors. But I will link them down below in case you're at all interested in getting a reading journal or a prayer journal that she has as well. So just a quick thought of that. So you can check that out in my description box. So it is 9:45 at night right now. I had a bit of a migraine earlier because the rain came in and it was not a good migraine moment, to say the least. But I have managed to read 35%, I believe, 37% of For the Love of Bard, or of the Bard. I have read a total of the first 12 chapters, and I'm on chapter 13 right now. I'm really enjoying it a lot. So this one's about Miranda, who is an author. She writes YA fantasy, and she has just in her most recent book killed off a character, and the fandom is in an uproar. So she is trying to figure out what to do exactly, because they just are hating on her on the internet, and she is due to write the next book, and she has massive writer's block. However, when she goes home to her quaint little town, which is basically all dedicated to Shakespeare, it's called Bardstown, I think it is. I'm just gonna fix my hand here for a second. So basically all of the town's names, like the shops in the town, are all related to the different characters. It's called, like, one of the show town's stores I can remember right now is Taming of the Shoe. Like, that's a shoe store. So all of them are related to Shakespeare names, and they just are all about Shakespeare there. And it's just the way it is. So she goes back and she is trying to do this while her mother recruits her to work on something for the centennial, while they're going to have a 2-week-long Shakespeare Fest, essentially. Also, while there, she brings her dog Puck, so named after the fairy from Midsummer Night's Dream. And she also runs into a very awkward acquaintance who she knows from high school named Adam. And he is a veterinarian, and he is there while his father is out and away for the summer. And Adam is going to be helping build sets, whereas Miranda is now going to be working with the theater company or putting on one of the plays, because there are 4 plays going on during that 2-week stint. So it's very interesting where they have to work together, kind of second chance, but also not. And that's really fun. I'm enjoying all the Shakespeare puns. I think it's really fun and hilarious. I do think that it is a little cheesy and over the top, but I don't mind that because I think it just is really, really witty in a way, and I really don't mind. And it's really funny because instead of swearing in the book, it's like, oh, bard, like B-A-R-D, and I think it's just really clever, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, almost 40% in. I was hoping to get more in, and I might get more in tonight, but I'm probably not going to check in. But I would highly recommend it so far, and I am just enjoying it, especially if you're a nerd, like, who loves literature or Shakespeare. Like, this is a really fun book to read. I've read all of Shakespeare's work, and I'll link a video about it where I discuss all of my feelings on Shakespeare after reading the whole thing. But I have now read all of his work, so it's really funny to kind of read all of the things and be just like, there's another nod to a certain play or whatever else. And also the way the book is broken down, it's like the first section is Act 1, Scene 1, Scene 2, Scene 3, Scene 4. And then there's a little chapter title underneath the scenes. And then the second section is called Act 2. And then there's Act 3 and Act 4. So really fun too. Just a little extra special thing. So I'm having a fun time with it. And I'm going to probably keep reading more tonight, but I probably won't check in again because it is just something I'll probably curl up in. I'm feeling tired because my migraine is still a little bit lingering. But yeah, just wanted to check in and say, even though I haven't made a lot of progress, considering what I was hoping to today, I think it's going really well. And I am enjoying what I am reading a lot. So definitely recommend so far. Hello, it is Wednesday night now. I have been reading since I got home, and it is 7:20. I have finished For the Love of the Bard by Jessica Martin, and I'm giving it a 3-star. It was a pretty great Love of Shakespeare book. It had a lot of funny, like, notes to Shakespeare, and it had some really interesting, it had some really interesting, I don't know, nods to Shakespeare. But overall, I felt like it had, it wasn't cohesive. So that's why it's not getting a 4-star. I did really have a fun time reading it though. I breezed through it. It was a quick read. It was an easy read, and it was fun. I really was smiling through it. Every time a new Shakespeare, like a new place that was brought up, it was just really funny because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure Taming of the Shoe, Two Gentlemen of oh, something was another location. It's just really funny how all these places, Oberon's garden was another place. It's just so many Shakespeare nods. So I found it really fun, really engaging, but at the same time, not very cohesive in the place that I was going, because like I'm saying, it has a lot of Shakespeare nods, but I'm not even telling you what it's about. So it was about Miranda, who came back to her small town because she has to write a book for her series that she's doing, but no one knows that she's doing the series because her series is under a pen name, and that's kind of good, but at the same time, she has a lot of pressure to finish off the series. So she's come back, and there's a lot of troubles going on with her family. And then there's also this guy who she has history with from high school named Adam, and he's back as well. And so it's that kind of thing. I think that's the main point of the book, but there's a lot of things going on with Miranda's family, which I found very interesting as well. But at the same time, it was very, not really, I would kind of call it scattered or very broad in its directions. And I thought that it was okay in that regard. But like I said, it was a lot of fun. It's a true love letter to Shakespeare, I will say. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and I flew through it. So that's officially done, my third arc for this video, which I'm pretty happy about. It's Wednesday, it's 3 days in, and I finished 3 arcs. So I am not going to get, slumpy or anything like that. I am thinking I should probably continue with this idea of picking up another one of my top priority books. But that next one would be Deathly Shallows or Deadly Shallows. But honestly, I'm kind of going to do my British myths, or British myths. I think that's kind of the one I'm going for. I feel like getting in some nonfiction right now. A lot of the nonfiction that I have as arcs don't come out until like October. So they're not really high priority, top crucial ones for me, but that one comes out in August, and so I'm currently reading that, and I'd like to get to it. So I think I'm just gonna do my myths one, and then I might go back to Deadly Shallows, because that one comes out July 7th, I believe. But I'm in the mood for some nonfiction. I'm sorry if my words aren't coming out right now, but that's my plan. And then we'll see what happens. It's only 7:30, and I'm in a pretty good mood to just keep reading, especially for something different. So I'll be reading some British myths, and hopefully I can knock out the next 150 pages I have left of that, and then I could be onto something new tonight. But that's my next book going forward. So it is now 9:30. I finished English Myths by Michael Kerrigan. This one I'm giving 4 stars. I'm pretty sure it's a coffee book because of how big it is, at least looking at the NetGalley app. But I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of pictures, like every other page or every page, and it had big pictures, and it had a lot of descriptions about the ancient British world, but they didn't have a lot of written language, and so it talked a lot about how their myths came into being, and then how their world progressed. Just really interesting things, and I really enjoyed the progression. I didn't love the ending, but I do think that it's really interesting if you want to know more about the English myth side of things. It went into Beowulf, and then into the King Arthur myths, and it went into I'm drawing a blank on the other one, Robin Hood, that myths, where those myths kind of go and what the stories are for those ones. So I think it was quite an interesting one, and if you're at all interested in those ones, I'd recommend checking it out. I think it's well worth 4 stars. It was a nice palate cleanser for me to pick up slowly previous to today, and then it was really nice for me to just go through it, since I had read 2 romances, and those were great, but I think I just wanted something different. Now, for right now, I am not really sure what I'm really wanting to read. I have my stack here of arcs, and I'm thinking I want something physical now, because I've had the last 4 arcs, which now I've read 4. in 3 days. I'm wanting something physical instead of reading only on my phone or my Kindle, because I couldn't read on my Kindle for the last one, but all the other ones I could have. So I need something physical, I think. The things I want to read physical for sure is, one, My Body Is Not a Prayer Request by Amy Kenny. I purchased this one and then, well, I saw I got it as an ARC first, and then I purchased it because I want to tab it and highlight it because it has just so many great quotes, and I feel like this is a really great book to do that with. So I think I might just pick it up. I am currently on page 68, and this book is only 194 pages or 90 pages, so I will be probably picking this one up, I think. I think I'd want to do this one. My other big possibility, which I feel like I'm gonna go with, would be this one, The Honors Defense by Karen Whitmire. This would be my final book in the Hangers Horseman series, and I have a physical copy of this, and that'll be a way to get away off from my screen. This is one that I'm 34% or 35% into already. So I have 225-ish pages left according to the math. So that's handy with this one as well. So not too shabby page count wise with either of these. And if I do go into screen wise, like when I turn off the light and I want to read something just because, I'll go with Deadly Shallows by Danny Petrie, because that's my next arc that's coming out on July 7th or 6th. And I will be picking up that one. The last one I read, which was also an arc, and I requested this one before reading the other one, which is not a bad thing. But the last one left me kind of wanting, because it felt like it was a lot more of us being shoved into meeting these characters. And I don't remember even their names right now, but these are the two who I felt like we were being shoved at in book 2. We were forced into meeting this new girl, and I was like, it's not really subtle. And then it was like the big mystery over here, and it's like, that's off in the back corner. So I'm hoping this one is a bit more cohesive. I'm sure it will be now that we have met the people who we're supposed to meet, but I hope it's better, and I will let you know. So that will be my next e-read, and I could read this one on ebook as well, but I have it physically, so I'll be doing one of these physically, bringing it with me to work tomorrow. But yeah, I have an hour lunch break tomorrow, and I'll be picking up one of these, and I will be doing an ebook of Deadly Shallows. So I think that's my next plan going forward, and hopefully I can just keep knocking these arcs out. I will say though, my brain is starting to get fried on writing reviews. I didn't expect this, because normally when I do these arc reading like over 2 weeks, I don't normally write these reviews back to back to back. And now I've written 4 reviews in 3 days, and I'm like, my brain's like, I keep using this language. So it's a little interesting. But please let me know if you want me to do this every month, because I do try to dedicate my second half of the reading month to arcs. And if I have this position again where I'm done my main priority reading for the first half, let me know if you'd like me to make an arc vlog when I'm capable of it, and I can make that a priority to do that any month I'm available. So please let me know. That'd be something I might be able to work into my filming schedule and my reading schedule. But I'm gonna head off to bed. So like I said, let me know down below. I'm going to get ready for bed now so I'm not too tired, and I might read a bit more with the lights on, which means one of these, and if with the lights off, it will be Deadly Shallows. But otherwise, I might even just take a break now since I finished 2 books. But anyways, I'm going to head off to bed. I will chat with you tomorrow if I finish one of these, which I'm sure I will, and I will let you know what I finish. Bye for now. So it's Thursday night. I am watching some Golden Girls tonight. I really just watched a couple episodes and I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm gonna watch some more. I'm going to finish off my read of my body's not a prayer request, and then I'm gonna wrap up this vlog. I think that this would be too long if I went all the way to the weekend, because I have a feeling I'm going to read a ton over the weekend, and I want to give these books the credit that they're due, and I want to give them the best chance if possible of you all learning all about them. So I'm going to give them 5 books in this vlog, and then I'll do another vlog for the rest of the week. But I'm going to finish up this book tonight, and then I will have this ready to go for tomorrow morning, and hopefully you all check out these books. But I'll do a quick wrap up at the very end when I have finished this one after watching an episode of Golden Girls. So I have finished My Body Is Not a Prayer Request by Amy Kenny, and I cried at the end. Yeah. This book, it has 10 chapters, and each is very powerful. It has a lot of really in-depth and hard-hitting stuff, and it was really interesting. And then the very end, it had a benescription, is what it's called, one for non-disabled people, and then one for disabled people, and it made me cry. So yeah, so good. I really loved that she used the term disabled in here. It's one of my pet peeves that people say I'm differently abled or diversely abled. I'm like, I'm not. If you think that my migraines make me have superpowers because I am differently abled or I'm diversely abled, that is not true. Just call me disabled, because I have a chronic disease. I have a chronic illness, and it makes me have pain every day. It is not something that is special. It doesn't make me think in a special way. It doesn't make me differently perceptive. It has a very negative impact on my life, and that's all it does. So to have the fact that she just had a very open, honest note at the very beginning about why she was using that term, and then she just only used the term disabled, I was very appreciative of that, because I absolutely hate when people say differently abled or whatever else. She had, at the end of every section, she would have a list of 10 things. So this is one of them, about the at least in that section is the at least, and then this one is like top 10 remedies people have told her to do. So it was very interesting to read the different top 10 things people have told her, top 10 reasons why she's disabled, people have told her as they walk up. Yeah, and then one of them was here, top 10 denials, disability denials. And her number 8 one was, you're not disabled, you're differently abled or special needs or handicap or handicapable or an angel. And I'm like, all of those would drive me crazy because none of them are true. So yeah, but powerful book. I really loved how she just attacked certain ableisms in the church that we don't think of head on. Things like steps and things like, you're not designing a church with the people who can't walk in mind, or, you know, having, from my perspective, having the lights not on can be a really hard thing, or drum cages are really important for me. And I go to a church where it's really wonderful. They're very accommodating, and they don't have a drum cage, but I'm okay with that because of how I can sit in the room, and even the language people use at church. Whereas I think I mentioned it once, and I noticed after the fact, I'm gonna cry, sorry. I just wanted to say that I noticed after I had mentioned the difficulty of standing while singing with my migraines, from that point on, the worship team started to say, if you're able, please stand. So it wasn't a stand time, it was if you're able, which is so wonderful to hear. It's said in a very welcoming and encompassing way. So I think this is a wonderful book to read. The language choice, and I'm gonna cry because Actually, I thought it was wonderful the way she said it in here. This is like one of my new favorite books to refer to people about this. She said, on top of the physical ailments of my disability, there's an emotional labor of explaining my body to people who they think they get it, but they don't. And I think that's part of this too. So, because it always happens and I'm like, oh, I don't know why. I'm like, that's pretty aptly explaining it. So yes, 5 stars, really enjoyed it. I'm gonna calm myself down and then we're gonna go over all the books I read so far this week. So since we are on this one, let's go first with this one. I just told you this one's 5 stars, really enjoyed it, and it's very short but very powerful. And this one came out on May 17th, so it came out a couple months ago, but I got the arc right after it had been published, so I didn't feel the pressure, but I really wanted to read this because I had bought the book myself after it had been published, and I was really excited to get to it. So very happy I did. I also read Cults, which was by Max Cutler, and this one comes out on July 12th. I really recommend this one if you're at all interested in cults and the psychology behind them. This one followed multiple cults starting from the time of the cult leaders, childhood, and even sometimes their parentage, and then going through to the end of their life, or if they're still alive, their time in prison, and what really happened in the cult and how that really impacted their time. It also really was interesting to follow all the in-depth nature of why they started the cult and how that either exploded in their face or how it dissolved into such an interesting way. So I think it was a really interesting book, and if you're at all interested into cults like I am, I would check it out. It comes out on the 12th of July. Fake It Till You Bake It is by Jamie Wesley, and this one comes out, or came out, on June 21st. I thought it came out later, so I pushed it back, this video idea, but I'm gonna put it up earlier because of that also. And this one I really enjoyed. I liked the romance, and I thought it was a really solid baking fake dating trope. I liked all the elements of having like a reality show and a cupcake shop on top of having the fake dating overarching theme, and also having such a great tight story. I felt like it was really wonderful to read, and I would highly recommend checking it out. It just came out, so go and show it some love, order it however you want. I would recommend getting your hands on a copy. My next nonfiction that I read was English Myths by Michael Kerrigan. This one comes out on August 16th. Yep, August 16th. This one was really good. It's short, but I feel like it's a coffee book, like I said before. And this one is full of pictures and stories, all from English myths and mythology, and how their mythology really was formed from different cultures coming in, Vikings, and different origins and how that created itself. I found it to be really interesting, and I enjoyed looking at all of the artifacts and how that kind of came to be. I really enjoyed reading all of that, and it was really interesting to my mythology history loving brain. I'd recommend it if you at all enjoy it. The previous 3 books, this one and the previous 2, both got 4 stars. The last book that I read was For the Love of the Bard by Jessica Martin. This one comes out on the 28th of June, so that one is very soon. And I give this one 3 stars. I think it was just not tight enough as a romance for me, but this one did follow a lot of Shakespeare quotes, and so if you love cheesy Shakespeare stuff, this is the book for you. It was really interesting because it followed this town that is just in love with Shakespeare, dedicated to Shakespeare, and it followed a woman who is trying to write a book while also directing a play, and it's like a second chance love. It had a lot of interesting elements and a lot of interesting plot points, but for me, it's just a little bit too many to be a 4-star. But I did enjoy myself. It was a really fast read, a really fun read, and like I said, a lot of fun Shakespeare points. Really, really fun. It made me laugh. It made me smirk and smile every time. And seriously, at one point they had a Shakespeare insult battle and I just was laughing at that. And it was funny. So if you are at all interested in that kind of thing, I'd highly recommend checking out For the Love of the Bard, as it comes out on Tuesday, and I think you would enjoy it. So that was the last one for this vlog, and I have to pick out some more for the next one, but keep your eyes peeled for my next ARCs vlog, and let me know down below if you would like me to do this regularly, because I have, I think, 25 more ARCs left that are like backlist arcs and I need to catch up on. And I have several arcs that are coming up in the fall, so I would like to do those too eventually. So please let me know down below if you'd like me to make these weekly arc reading vlogs, and I can dedicate some time to write arcs and make a dedicated video review of them if that's something you would like. Also, please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new here, all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you next time.